Welcome to the Book of Job, Part 1, Chapters 1 through 21. In the land of Uz, the morning light rises over wide, wind-brushed hills. Smoke curls gently from cooking fires. Flocks move like slow waves across open ground. And in the center of this calm stands a man named Job, a steady, respected, and righteous man. He is known for integrity the way a tall tree is known for shade. He fears God. He turns away from evil. His home is filled with laughter, his table with bread, his fields with abundance. His life looks like a well-built wall, from thick stone, no cracks, no loose corners. Job has 7 sons and 3 daughters. Their days pass in a rhythm of feasts and family. Sometimes the sons gather in one house, then another, and the sisters are invited too. It's joy with family, dancing to music, eating food, stories telling into the night. Yet Job, even in prosperity, is careful. When the feasting ends, he rises early, before the world gets loud. He offers sacrifices for his children, not because he sees proof of wrongdoing, but because he knows the human heart. He whispers prayers like a watchman scanning a dark horizon. If they sinned, if they spoke against God in their hearts, he covers them with devotion. The way a father pulls a blanket over sleeping children. Then the scene shifts beyond earth, beyond dust and weather, to a court unseen in heaven, where the sons of God present themselves, and among them comes the accuser, the adversary, Satan. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God, and escheweth evil? The adversary answers with cold logic. Job fears you because you built a hedge around him. You blessed his work. You filled his barns. Take it away. Touch what he has, and he will curse you. Permission is given, but not to destroy Job himself, just to strip the life around him. And the storm begins with messengers riving like blows. One rushes in, breath torn, face gray. Oxen were plowing, donkeys grazing, when raiders fell, his animals taken, and his servants killed. The words are still falling from his mouth when another stumbles in, fire from the sky, his sheep burned, shepherds consumed. Then a third messenger told Job, the Chaldeans attacked in 3 bands, his camels stolen, his servants slain. Disaster stacks like collapsing beams, each report landing before the last one can be mourned. And then the final messenger arrives. He looks like someone walking out of a grave. He says there was a great wind against a house, the oldest brother's place, where the children were eating and drinking. The wind struck the corners, the roof fell, all 10 children gone. In a single day, Job's world is gutted. The sky is the same color. The ground is the same dirt. But everything that made the day feel safe is gone. Job rises. He tears his robe. He shaves his head, ritualistic signs of grief, as if the body itself must speak what words cannot carry. Then he falls to the ground, not to curse, not to spit hatred into the wind. He worships. Job after this destruction says, Naked I came, naked I return. The Lord gave, the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. The silence after that is heavy. It is the sound of a man holding his soul together with trembling hands. And in all this, he does not charge God with wrongdoing. Again, the scene shifts to that unseen court in heaven. Again, the adversary appears. Again the question, have you considered Job? He still holds his integrity, even after loss and destruction. But the adversary presses deeper, skin for skin. Touch his bone and his flesh. Strike his body. Then he will curse you. Permission is given again, but Job's life is spared. And disease comes like a cruel garment pulled over him. Boils rise from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. Pain becomes a constant companion. His skin breaks. His sleep breaks. His dignity breaks. He sits among ashes, an image of ruin, and takes a shard of broken pottery to scrape his sores. His wife stands near him, exhausted by grief, by poverty, by the sight of the man she once leaned on, now bent and bleeding. Her voice cracks with bitterness. Do you still hold your integrity? Curse God and die. Job looks up through swollen eyes. He answers with a strange, stern tenderness. You speak like one of the foolish. Shall we receive good from God? And shall we not receive evil? His words do not deny pain. They refuse to let pain become a throne. Now 3 friends hear of Job's trouble and come from afar, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. When they see him from a distance, they barely recognize him. Their mouths open, but no sound comes out. They weep. They tear their robes. They throw dust into the air and onto their heads, as if to say, the world itself is now covered in grief. They sit with him on the ground for 7 days and 7 nights. No one speaks, because the sorrow is too large for language. But silence cannot last forever. And when Job finally speaks, it is not calm. It is not measured. It is a cry. He curses the day he was born. He wishes that day could be erased from time, swallowed by darkness, never counted among the days of the year. He asks why he ever came out of the womb. Why light is given to the miserable. Why life is handed to the bitter in soul. His words come like thunder rolling over a broken landscape. He does not yet accuse God directly, but he questions existence itself, as if the gift of life has become a sharp blade. Eliphaz speaks first, gentle on the surface, heavy underneath. He appeals to memory, Job used to strengthen weak hands, steady trembling knees. He used to comfort others, but now trouble has touched him, and he is shaken. Eliphaz offers a worldview like a locked box. He speaketh of mountains that are moved, stars that are commanded, and the earth that is shaken. The greatness of God doth render human arguments as mere dust. Job yearneth for a mediator, one who could lay a hand upon both God and man, a bridge to unite them in peace and without fear. His message is clear. Job, search yourself. Admit the hidden sin. Then healing will come. The innocent shall not perish. Those who sow iniquity shall reap their due. He recounts a vision of the night his breath chilled, dread coursing through his bones wherein he discerned the truth, that no man can be more righteous than the Almighty. His message is clear. Job, search yourself. Admit the hidden sin. Then healing will come. Job answers with raw honesty. His grief is not a small thing. not a mood to be corrected. It is heavier than sand. He says so heavy his words are swallowed by its weight. He feels hunted, as if God has aimed arrows at him. He longs for God to crush him, to end it, to let him die so he can stop the unending ache. He looks at his friends and calls them unreliable, like a seasonal stream that promises water in winter and becomes dust in summer. They came expecting wisdom. He needed mercy. Job cries out that his life is breath, a shadow, a vanishing cloud. He asks why God would set a watch on a man, examine him every morning, test him every moment. Am I the sea, he cries, or a beast, that thou dost set a watch over me? Even in slumber, no solace is found, for nightmares pursue him in the dark. He yearns to commune with God, not as a rebellious spirit filled with pride, but as a broken soul, seeking the light of understanding amidst his suffering. Then Bildad speaks, sharper and more rigid. He suggests that Job's children must have sinned, and they received what they deserved. His reasoning is as unyielding as iron. The Lord doth not pervert justice. If Job walketh in righteousness, then surely God shall restore him. Yet, lo, the bitter truth lies beneath if restoration is withheld. It must be that Job is not blameless in the eyes of the Almighty. Job answers with a painful admission. Yes, God is just. But how can a man be righteous before God? If God chooses to contend, who can answer him? God is not a man to debate. There is no equal standing. Job feels crushed by power he cannot appeal against. He speaketh of mountains that are moved, stars that are commanded, and the earth that is shaken. The greatness of God doth render human arguments. As mere dust, Job yearneth for a mediator, one who could lay a hand upon both God and man, a bridge to unite them in peace and without fear. Zophar speaks next, and his words are the harshest. He declares that Job's words are but empty wind. He saith that if the Lord were to speak, he would reveal unto Job the depths of his transgressions, which Job himself doth not perceive. His counsel is this: repent, cast away thine iniquities, and then thou shalt lift up thy face unashamed. Job spake with a voice heavy with sorrow. Verily, I say unto you, ye are the people, and with you shall wisdom perish. He is tired of being treated like a child. He knows what they know, and he sees something they refuse to see. The world does not run on their simple equation. The wicked do indeed find prosperity at times. The violent oftentimes endure for many days. The tents of the robbers dwell in peace. Yet, behold, the innocent suffer greatly. Job points to creation, itself the animals, the birds, the fish as witnesses that life is complex and often unfair. He insists again. He wants his case brought before God. He wants an audience with the one who feels distant but unstoppable. As the speeches continue, the friends double down, and Job's soul gets louder. Eliphaz accuses Job of arrogance. Bildad describes the fate of the wicked with terrifying imagery: lamps extinguished, steps trapped, memories erased. Zophar speaks of wickedness tasting sweet, but turning to poison inside. They paint a picture of a sinner and keep trying to shove Job into it. Job refuses to fit. He describes the misery of being mocked, being stared at, being treated as a proverb. He describes God's hand as heavy, his friends' comfort as cruelty. Yet in the middle of the darkness, something fierce rises in him, like a candle refusing to die in a storm. He says he knows his Redeemer lives. He speaks as if, beyond death and decay, there will be a day when he will see God. And then Job spake, revealing unto his friends that which they could not bear to hear. He laid bare the prosperity of the wicked. Behold, they grow old in their days, their abodes stand secure, their flocks increase abundantly, their offspring rejoice and dance with mirth, and they lift up their voices in song with instruments of joy. They spend their days in abundance, and yet they descend to the grave in but a fleeting moment, not as a mere whisper, not as a far-off teaching, but as a truth, as a vision. This is not a polished discourse. It is hope standing firm against the storms of despair, as it is written, "For I know that my Redeemer liveth." In the face of trials, this hope shall not falter, for it is anchored in the promise of divine presence. And then Job spake, revealing unto his friends that which they could not bear to hear. He laid bare the prosperity of the wicked. Behold, they grow old in their days, their homes stand secure, their flocks increase abundantly, their offspring rejoice and dance with mirth, and they lift up their voices in song with instruments of joy. They spend their days in abundance, and yet they descend to the grave in but a fleeting moment. Job isn't praising evil. He's telling the truth they keep denying. Their moral math does not match the world, and his question hangs in the air like smoke. If suffering always equals guilt, then why does life so often refuse that rule? Part 1 ends with Job still in the ash heap, still scarred, still grieving, still misunderstood, yet refusing to surrender the one thing he has left, the insistence that truth matters, that God must be just, and that somehow, even if he cannot see it yet, there is more to this story than punishment. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. The story of Job is very heartbreaking, but offers a lot of wisdom about being watched and judged by God. Thanks for checking out part 1 of the book of Job. May God give you wisdom.